Hi everybody. In the Chapter 4 demonstrations, we'll use mathematical, statistical, and nested logical functions to answer questions about and determine additional information for Lion Company's employees. Please do 3 things before you start working on the demonstration. First, be sure you have thoroughly read Chapter 4 in the textbook and used Excel to work through some of the examples shown in the chapter. You will need the in-depth information in the chapter because the videos are just going to show some of the chapter highlights. Second, print or download the PDF instructions for the assignment so you can see the step-by-step process we'll follow. Third, download the Excel workbook so you can work along with the video and prepare your Chapter 4 demonstration assignment. When you are ready, start the video again to begin working on the assignment. Let's get started by making a copy of the data worksheet and changing the name on the new worksheet tab to Employee Info. Now, working on the Employee Info tab, we are going to answer a number of questions about our employees. First, we're going to answer a question about how many full-time employees we have. We're going to use COUNTIF to determine that number. So put your cursor in H19 and bring up the COUNTIF function arguments. The range is the range of cells from which you want to count non-blank cells. So, F7 through F17. The criteria in this example is full-time, so FT. I did not write the words full-time out in the criteria because the computer has absolutely no idea that FT means full-time. In this criteria, the computer is going to look for an exact match. So FT. Notice I put quotes around it. You'll find out how important that is when we get into our logical statements. Next, let's use SUMIF to determine how much we paid the accounting staff in 20XX. Put your cursor on H21 and bring up the SUMIF function. SUMIF. The range of cells is the cells to be evaluated, so C7 through C17. The criteria in this example is accountant, so ACCT. And the sum range is the range of cells that should be summed if the criteria is met. So H7 through H17. In cell H23, we need to use the COUNTIFs function to report how many full-time employees made more than $85,000. So put your cursor in H23 and bring up the COUNTIFs function argument. count ifs with an S on the end of it. The first criteria range is one of the range's cells that should be evaluated for a particular condition. We have two conditions, full-time status and more than $85,000. So let's do the full-time status first. You could do it the other way around if you wanted, but I'm going to do in this example full-time status first, so F7 through F17. The criteria for that range is full-time, so FT. Criteria range 2 is whether the employee made more than $85,000, so H7 through H17. And the criteria for range 2 is greater than $85,000. Next, we're going to use the COUNTIFs function again to report how many full-time employees attended Sacramento City College. Why don't you pause your video and write the formula for that using the COUNTIFs function and start your video again to check your work. And the answer is 3, and the formula was equals COUNTIFs, F7 through F17. Full-time was the criteria for that range. G7 through G17, and SCC was the criteria for that range. And it yielded a number of 3 employees who were full-time and attended Sacramento City College. Then we need to use the SUMIFs function to report how much we paid part-time male employees that are graduates of Sacramento City, CSUS. Put your cursor on H27 and bring up the SUMIFs function argument. SUMIFs with an S on the end of it. The sum range is the range of cells you want summed if the criteria are met. So H7 through H17. Criteria range 1. We have 2 criteria, male and attended CSUS. So let's do the gender criteria first. With your cursor on criteria range 1, highlight D7 through D17. And the criteria for that range is male, so M. Criteria range 2 is the college attended, so G7 through G17. And the criteria for that range is CSUS. Well, we've answered the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions, and that's all for this video. In the next video, we'll write nested if and or formulas to report additional information about the employees in column I. See you next time.